friends. I'd like to do another installment on my series on the themes from the epistle of First John, and I'm going to call this one Eternal Life is Evidenced by Love. And I quote, "We know that we pass from death into life because we love the brethren. He that loveth not his brother remains in death." 1 John 3:14. We've been discussing the theme of 1 John, which is the threefold test of eternal life based on three simple theological propositions. First, because God is light and in him there is no darkness at all, then those who share in the gift of the life of God hate evil and sin. Eternal life is opposed to all that is false and evil, unceasingly exposing and repudiating it within us and in this world. Those who have eternal life confess their sins to God. They neither deny them or seek to hide them. Rather, they live in the light of God. Secondly, because God is love, those who have a share in the life of God love the people of God. Eternal life causes us to love one another. Beloved, let us love one another, for everyone that loves is born of God and knows God. He that loves not knows not God, for God is love. 1 John 4:7-8. The one who constantly hates his brother lacks any evidence of eternal life. And finally, in the proposition that Jesus Christ has come and remains in the flesh, we are given the doctrine of Christ, the revealed teaching of who Jesus is and what he came to do. Eternal life causes us to have an inward affinity to the truth. Now, why do we believe in the incarnation of Jesus? Because we've received eternal life. The third test is a test of adherence to revealed truth, to doctrine. Now, he that saith he is in the light and hates his brother is in darkness even until now. He that loves his brother remains in the light, and there's no occasion of stumbling in him. But he that hates his brother is in darkness, and walks in darkness, and knows not where he goes, because that darkness hath blinded his eyes. 1 John 2:9-11. To God there are only two kinds of people: those who love God supremely, and everyone else equally, or those who hate God, and as a consequence hate their fellows. There's only love or hate for God. There can be no neutrality. Even the law of God states in the Ten Commandments, and I quote, "For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments." Exodus 20:5-6. So it is with our fellow man. In the 1 John passage above, one either loves his brother or hates him. One is either in the light of God or he remains in darkness. The evidence for either is in love or the absence thereof. Any confessing Christian who can with impunity hate his brother is fooling himself. He's certainly not in the light of God, but remains in darkness. This means that regardless of what he thinks of himself, he is still estranged from true communion with God, unable to comprehend what God is saying, and he is even in opposition to God himself. As it says, he doesn't know what causes him to stumble, for hatred blinds his spiritual eyes to the true cause of his constant fall. Hatred has within it the seed of its own destruction, for bitterness, malice, envy, emulation, and unforgiveness, which is not repented of, actually darken and skew your perception. It's in knowing and believing the love God has to us and responding in love to God that clarity comes to us. Loving God as a response to his saving love is the only deliverance sufficient to rescue us from self-love, which is the ultimate cause of the loss of reality in our own lives. In the gospel, we can see that our deepest problems have consisted not merely in our various environments, nor of the multiple wrongs and injustices we have suffered from others. Rather, it's been our own sinful alienation from God, which has caused our deepest and truest sorrows. Brethren, I write no new commandment to you, but an old commandment which you had from the beginning. The old commandment is the word which you've heard from the beginning. Again, a new commandment I do write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past and the true light now shines. 1 John 2, 7 through 8. The commandment to love one another is not new. It is basic to humanity. We all know we should do it. It is the summation of the whole law of God. Love God supremely and everybody else equally. If we would merely do that, we would never sin. But we are told by the Lord's apostle that the true light now shines upon the oldest commandment, which is to love one another. For in Jesus, love has been fully demonstrated for all to see. To see Jesus is to behold love as it was meant to be. Jesus himself is eternal life, for the gift of God is nothing less than a share in the very life of Jesus. As a man, Jesus has put God above all else, even his own life. This man, who knew no sin, was willing to be made sin as an offering for us, that we might be reconciled to God. This man never broke faith with God. He is the embodiment of the commandment for man to love God with all his being. In Jesus, we are given the model. Those who have eternal life want to follow Jesus' example. They now want to love God and to lay down their lives in large and small ways, as Jesus has done for us. Those who can hate and nourish malice, envy, spite, false witness against others, spiritual anguish and conviction are only demonstrating that they don't really have eternal life. Grace and peace to you all.